bit of a break time here. I have been rereading a book called The Complete Walker, Volume 4, or Number 4, by Colin Fletcher and Chip Rawlins. Colin Fletcher is no longer with us, sadly. The book was published... Did I hear a deer? I don't know. The book was published about 20 years ago, and it's basically a complete, comprehensive guide to everything hiking, backpacking, and camping related. Although some of the references to equipment and prices especially are somewhat dated now. But it's still worth a read because the generalities are still pretty valid. So one of the things they mentioned was about slow hiking, not rushing your hike. And they made the point that, you know, if you travel a mile an hour faster, you use X amount more energy, which makes sense. So if you go slower, you're using less energy and you're covering the same amount of ground, but at the end of your hike, you feel better. And I've been practicing that today, trying it out, and it seems to be holding true. I've been going slow up the hills, and I tend to try and charge up them and use them as a cardiovascular exercise. And get to the top and then take my break if I need to. But going slow, I don't feel the burn. I don't feel tired. I don't feel any negatives. I get to the top and I just keep going. With that, and I'm taking a break now, you might be able to see the rock just showed up. The rock that I'm sitting on just happened to show up right at break time. But I'm bad about missing my breaks. Colin really pushed taking your breaks, and he makes the point that in the first 7 minutes of a break, your body flushes out about, I believe it was 30% of the lactic acid that has accumulated. After that, the rate of flushing goes way down, but so it seems to me that a break of 7 to 10 minutes is a good thing to do. And I've been working on that. Like I said, I tend to skip my breaks, but I'm forcing myself to take one now. Anyways, it's a good book. I just thought I would mention it since the subject of today is kind of slow hiking. Okay, we'll call it slow hiking. If I have to have a subject, slow hiking. You may remember these jungle boots from the unboxing a couple of years ago. They're very lightweight. They dry out quick when they get wet, and they have the Panama sole, which I really like. I think they look cool, but I think they work pretty well too. And I get that from the thick, muddy clay on Okinawa. With the issue leather boots we had, they were just about useless. Not only in the mud, but in a helicopter leaking transmission fluid when you're trying to climb up the ramp. So we would take our boots in and get the soles cut off, and they'd put Vibram soles on, which were a little better, but the gaps were a lot smaller than the Panama boots, and they would fill up with mud pretty easily. And I just noticed the guys with the jungle boots with the Panama soles seem to be doing a little better. So, by way of explanation. Anyways, these are holding up pretty good. I replaced the boot laces with some paracord with the center pulled out, and that lays pretty flat and it doesn't stretch too badly and works well. One of the benefits of slow hiking is that I can look around a little bit more. I'm not spending as much time staring at the trail at my feet. And I get to enjoy the scenery and the wildlife, and of course, the mosquitoes that I'm not able to outrun when I'm going slow. Trade-offs though. For you tactical guys, that's something to think about though, being able to look around more. I hate hills, hate going up them. So because of that reason, I have a tendency to just rush up and get it over with, and that just makes it worse. So I'm going to go out real slow. Hiking fast or slow, it won't make a darn bit of difference if you have an improperly fitted pack. It's just going to hurt. It's going to pull down on your shoulders. So make sure you got those hip belts cinched up properly, and your hip are taking the weight, not your shoulders. Just kidding, it was fine. Made it, no problem. Break number 2. So here's our large Alice. the pack really can't go down anymore. You can hang something from the bottom, but the pack itself doesn't have any room to expand downwards. And you can put something on the top there, but there's really no room for the pack to extend upwards. And you don't really want it to so much anyhow, because you need to be able to look up and look for airplanes or lay on the ground and shoot your rifle if you're a military guy. So that means if you're filling this pack up, it extends outwards behind you. So what I've done here is put a strap around it just to kind of compress it a little bit. Everything inside is fabric and insulation, my sleeping gear basically. So that helps bring the center of gravity in towards me a little more. As you can see here, I've got the MOLLE straps attached to the large ALICE. The ALICE really didn't have any load lifter straps, but the MOLLE straps do, so I just kind of rigged one up. Doesn't do a whole lot of good since it's so far down behind my shoulders, but if I needed to, I could probably rig something up and raise it an inch or two or three and get some leverage on it. But fortunately, the waist belt carries most of the weight, and the straps up here just kind of help balance it a bit, so it's not a real big deal yet. It's always good to bring along a snack on the trail. Peanut butter crackers here. I try to avoid anything with too much sugar, because that just spikes your blood sugar and then you get the shakes sometimes. I do anyway, so just regular peanut butter crackers or cheese crackers, something like that. Gives you enough energy, a little boost to keep going. Good excuse to stop for an extra break too. Well, it's my second break. I'm a full 2 hours into this slow hike, and I'm feeling really good. A lot better, I think, than I would have felt if I'd done it at my normal speed. So there appears to be something to this, and I may keep it up. Certainly if I was backpacking, I feel like I could keep going for hours more. So, but it's time to eat, time to go home. So thanks for watching.